Friends, World War II was the most dangerous and devastating war in the world.
Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe.
It is difficult to track down one single event that sparked the conflict.
In this video, we'll understand how this war actually began. The story begins in 1919 when World War I ended. A peace treaty was signed, called the Treaty of Versailles. But this treaty became a nightmare for Germany. Article 231 of the treaty, also called the War Guilt Clause, held Germany completely responsible for World War I. Because of this, France and Britain demanded a compensation of $33 billion from Germany. In today's value, that's about $270 billion. Imagine, Germany made the final payment of this fine in 2010. Now, where would this money come from? Obviously, from the German people. Germany made the first payment in 1921, and after that, its economy completely collapsed. Hyperinflation broke the back of the country. A packet of bread that cost 160 marks in 1922 was selling for 200 billion marks just a year later. The economy was destroyed, and unemployment kept increasing. In the middle of this economic disaster came Adolf Hitler, a young leader who knew how to play with people's emotions. In 1923, Hitler tried to overthrow the government with his Nazi party, but he failed. Still, people started listening to him. Propaganda started spreading that Germany's humiliation was because of some anti-national elements, like Jews and socialists. People were already troubled. It was easy to poison their minds. In 1929 came the Great Depression. Germany's condition got even worse. By 1933, over 6 million people were unemployed. Hitler used this pain to his advantage and made himself a dictator. He shared his dream to build a German Reich, an empire where only Aryan people would live. He created another conspiracy theory against Jews, Judeo-Bolshevism, saying that even the Russian Revolution of 1917 happened because of the Jews. In 1935, the world found out that Germany had an air force, even though the Treaty of Versailles didn't allow Germany to have any military. But instead of opposing it, Britain signed a naval agreement with Hitler. France, seeing this militarization, built a long wall, the Maginot Line, to defend against a German attack. Then Hitler made his first actual move, towards Austria. He pressured the Austrian chancellor to put pro-Nazi people in the government. When Austria planned a public vote, Hitler sent in the army and without firing a single bullet, took control of Austria. Propaganda had already convinced people that this was good for them. Next target, Czechoslovakia's Sudetenland region, where 3 million Germans lived. Hitler demanded this region, and Britain's Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain signed the Munich Agreement, saying that if Hitler gets Sudetenland, there would be no more war.
The settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude to a larger settlement in which all Europe may find peace.
But Hitler invaded the entire Czechoslovakia within 6 months. The next target was Poland. Hitler played smart here. He signed a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union, just so the two countries could divide Poland between them. On 1st September 1939, Germany attacked Poland, and after that, the UK declared war on Germany. France, Australia, Canada, South Africa all declared war against Germany.
A war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
But the actual war hadn't started yet. This phase was called the phony war, because even though war had been declared, no real military action took place. Poland's army was outdated, still using horses, and it couldn't stand against Germany's modern military strategy, Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg, or lightning war, used fast tanks, fighter planes, and sudden attack strategies that gave Germany victory in just 2-3 days. German soldiers were given a drug, Pervitin, which we now know as crystal meth.
Confidential military communiques reveal the Allies suspected the Nazis were using something to supercharge their troops, but they had no idea what it was.
It erased fatigue, hunger, thirst, and soldiers could fight non-stop for 2 to 3 days. Poland was divided, half under Hitler, half under the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union also attacked Finland, because Stalin feared Hitler might reach Leningrad via Finland. Finland eventually surrendered, and the Moscow Peace Treaty was signed. Now Hitler had eyes on Norway and Denmark. In April 1940, using Blitzkrieg, Germany took over both countries in a matter of days. After this failure, UK Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain resigned.
I sought an audience of the King this evening and tendered to him my resignation, which His Majesty has been pleased to accept. His Majesty has now entrusted to my friend and colleague, Mr. Winston Churchill, the task of forming a new administration on a national basis.
And Winston Churchill became the new PM. On the same day, Hitler attacked France, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. France had the Maginot Line at its border, but Hitler made a plan. 3 army groups, A, B, and C. C attacked the Maginot Line as a distraction, and A entered France through the forest. France assumed no army could cross the forest, but Hitler surprised them. British and French soldiers retreated to Dunkirk port with only one escape route, by sea. This led to Operation Dynamo, the biggest evacuation in military history. Even civilian fishing boats were used. 350,000 soldiers were saved, but their equipment was left behind. A few days later, France officially surrendered to Hitler. Italy's dictator Mussolini signed the Pact of Steel with Germany and joined the war against France. By July 1940, Hitler had control over nearly all neighboring countries: Austria, Poland, Norway, Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, and France. Hitler now looked unstoppable.
We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender!